Zaha, the greatest living female architect. A true pioneer in her field. A clear exception to the rule. These are the phrases you hear when one describes the extraordinary Zaha Hadid. When I first started this project, I didn't have the highest of expectations for its outcome. I expected to make a video of the work of a designer I had researched. I wanted to choose someone that I hadn't heard of before. Now, as I look back on this process, not only did my research provide me with another perspective on the world of design, it also really encouraged me to pursue my own interest and passion for product design. I attribute that inspiration to the limitlessness of her capabilities. She was so consistent with the magnitude of her successes and so uniquely innovative with each project. One of the reasons I found Zaha to be so influential and inspirational was because of the fact that she was so willing to be herself despite the expectations that society had for her. As a female in the field of STEM and design, I think it is easy to get intimidated by the male presence in these fields since it is so dominant. But I also think it is very important to keep your passion and your dreams in mind. And that is exactly what Zaha did when she was faced with the adversity while trying to simply achieve her dreams. Zaha was many things. She was innovative, she was passionate, and she was strong. Most of all, she was dynamic. She was not just an architect, but also a product designer. I do think that people felt the need to mention these particular characteristics, largely because of the fact that she was a woman. It is true that she was a pioneer in her field. I attribute that to her work, her innovation, and her determination to push beyond the boundaries of design. However, she also served as an inspiration to many. The simple fact of the matter is that she was an anomaly. She was both a woman and an Arab, which, as she called, was a double-edged sword. The odds were most definitely stacked against her. Yet, her childhood prepared her with the necessary skill set to overcome the challenges she would later face. I did not want to simply focus on the fact that she was an Arab or that she was a woman because I felt that I was limiting the scope of who she was as a person. In an interview discussing her childhood, Hadid states, "When I was growing up in Iraq, there were many women architects. I cannot believe the enormous resistance I faced for just being an Arab, and a woman on top of that. It is like a double-edged sword. The moment my womanness is accepted, the Arabness seems to become a problem." While researching, it was very clear how supportive Hadid's parents were of her interest in design and her passion for geometry. From an early age, she showed a love for creativity and connection to mathematics. And she attended the American University in Beirut to study mathematics and then went on to the Architectural Association in London to study architecture. I found this to be a particularly interesting fact because math was not a very traditional path of study for women, and I think it should be one. And she could serve as a model to encourage women to go into STEM more frequently. Hadid states, "When I was growing up in Iraq, math was an everyday part of life. My parents instilled in me a passion for discovery, and they never made a distinction between science and creativity." Zaha states that when she was growing up in Iraq, at 6 years old, her aunt was building a house in Mosul, North Iraq. The architect was a close friend of her father's, and he used to come to their house with the drawings and models. She remembers seeing the model in their living room, and it triggered something. Hadid's primary mathematical interests included pushing the bounds of geometry. Zaha was known as the Queen of the Curve. In 1979, she established her own practice in London, the Zaha Hadid Architects. She was a woman in a field dominated by men, but her passion was in pushing the limits of design. Al Jazeera found the Vitra fire station being particularly interesting because this was her first completed building, and the straight lines and sharp angles are actually inspired by nearby vineyards and farmlands in Germany. Zaha states that she never uses the issue about being a woman architect. She says, but if it helps younger people to know that they can break through the glass ceiling, she doesn't mind it. In 2004, Zaha Hadid became the first woman and Muslim to be awarded the Pritzker Prize, which is the Nobel Prize equivalent for architecture.